Hey guys, what's going on? Gunnar here. Welcome back. So today I want to talk a little bit about hunting habits. Now, this isn't just habits that are going to benefit you when it comes to hunting. These are habits that we're developing specifically for the hunting result, but they're also going to benefit your life in a multitude of other areas. So first and foremost is when it comes to developing these hunting habits, we have to be critical and we have to critique ourselves. So we're going to look back at this previous season now. As the seasons across the Midwest and across the country are winding down, we're going to need to go dive into our results. We're going to get into the results category. Did we or did we not get the desired result from that season? Now, I like to be very critical of myself in this realm. So for me, when I'm looking at my results category, I'm looking at it from a handful of different perspectives. Did I, me personally, kill a deer of the caliber that I am after? So for me personally, if I'm critiquing myself from this season, I'm diving into specific weapons. Now, was I successful with a bow? Yes or no? With a gun? Yes or no? Out of state? Yes or no? I'm critiquing myself based on those metrics. I really like to do that. If I'm personally critiquing myself, I was very successful with a rifle this year. Now, my archery needs some work. So that's something I'm gonna be really critical on. And I'm gonna try to find what the missing link is that's holding me back from capitalizing on opportunities that I'm presented. Secondly, when we're looking at off-season preparation and developing these hunting habits that are going to make us successful, I'm going all in on shooting. I'm sorry, but you cannot become a good shot starting the week before season. No matter what anybody says, you need to be shooting year-round. Now, that was my formula to develop successful habits as a hunter. Maybe you only have to shoot 2 months leading up to season. But for me, I'm not good enough to do that. I have to shoot year round, and why make things harder when that moment of truth happens? Why make it hard on ourselves because we don't have muscle memory built up and we don't feel comfortable at full draw making a good shot when the biggest buck of your life is on the approach? So these are easy things that we can tackle and build disciplines around and habits to make that moment easier. Why leave things to chance when we can take the chance away and solidify the opportunity when it presents itself? Number 3 here is exercise. Now, there's a lot of people that are gonna tell you to be a Midwest tree stand hunter, you don't need to be physically fit. Now, I agree to a point. Guys, it's Gunnar. Look, if you like the video, like what you're seeing, but you still need more help, shoot me a message. I'll help you with whatever you need. I got your back for life. Now let's get back to the video. But let's look at it from a larger perspective than just specifically hunting. If you're a more physically fit, physically disciplined, active, healthy individual, you're gonna be better at everything you do, regardless if you're training for that specific activity. Now, if I was 50 pounds overweight, I wasn't confident in myself, I wasn't top tier physical peak condition that I am, I wouldn't have the drive, the motivation, the ability to hike up and down bluffs, steep bluffs that are uncomfortable, and put myself in positions to succeed. If I have a buck that's daylighting in a valley or in an area that's difficult to get into, you can damn well be sure that my physical condition is going to affect the decision I make on whether I go in or don't go in after that buck. Most people don't realize how much they weigh their decisions based on how physically fit they are. The more physically fit you are, the healthier you are, the better person, the more motivated, the more disciplined, the healthier you become as an individual, the better you're gonna be at everything else you do in your life. So yeah, you don't have to lift a bunch of weights to be a good deer hunter. But I can tell you what, ever since I started taking my health seriously, becoming more physically fit, I became a lot better at deer hunting, along with everything else in my life. And it's all relative for your situation. Now, I like to be strong, lift weights. I do cardio. Like I said, I weight train. This is all relative to who you are. If you don't like lifting weights, if you have a bad back, if you have some sort of ailment holding you back from doing activities like that, go put a pack on and put some weight in it and walk. All of this is relative. As long as you are prioritizing, become more disciplined, more motivated, and better you, I can guarantee you're gonna have far more success as a hunter, being in better shape, having more confidence, discipline, motivation, the whole 9 yards. So the fourth hunting habit that I'm leaning on here is mentally. You need to mentally prepare yourself. So recently I took on a new habit, which is cold plunging every single morning. Now, do you have to do this? No, you don't. I chose to do this to develop that mental toughness, that mental grit that I'm looking for when, say, maybe it's single digits, it's late December, I'm sitting a food source, there's a buck daylighting, but I have to get in there 2 hours before dark so I don't bump him. If I'm not mentally disciplined enough to not move, not fidget when it's cold, when I'm uncomfortable, when it's boring, when there's nothing going on, I'm not going to be successful. So I understand that being mentally hardened, mentally prepared is going to benefit me next fall and the falls to come. Now, these are all skills and habits that are developed, and they can also be lost. So I like to look back on seasons past and understand what of these I was doing to become successful. On unsuccessful seasons, I'm also looking at this and saying, okay, where did I fall short this year? Why did I fall short this year? Why wasn't I successful? Why didn't I get the job done? And I guarantee you'll find something along these lines that you could have taken under your control and fixed to improve that situation. So yeah, mental. You have to be mentally tough, mentally prepared, ready for those uncomfortable times, those long sits where you go 2-3 days without seeing a deer. You have to be ready for those kind of things because they are coming. This is not easy. Like I said, this is very difficult, but it's also very rewarding. So any of these things that are under our control, I like to take the guesswork off the table, and I like to make sure that I'm doing them to the highest level that I possibly can. And now the last one is scouting and property work. As all the seasons are winding down, you need to be scouting. We need to be doing this in-person work. We can't just assume things. Assuming doesn't get us anywhere. We need to follow this up by in-person scouting, physically scouting the property that we're hunting, we're trying to learn more about. We need to understand and solidify the evidence that we're assuming is happening. Because if we're not taking the steps to improve the situation, nothing's going to change. Radical change requires radical change. The definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So if we were unsuccessful last year, something needs to change to get a different result. If you were successful, let's stick to that routine, but let's try to enhance it, make it better. Because at the end of the day, we can't be upset at results we didn't get because of work we didn't do. So it all comes down to physically putting in the effort on the property, in the scouting, all of that. Most people don't realize that next season's results are based on today's actions and habits and disciplines that we're building. So if you want to be more successful next fall, go through a handful of these things. Critique yourself. Understand what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, how you can improve it, and I guarantee you'll be far more successful in the seasons to come. Guys, it's Gunnar. Look, if you like this video, if it helped you at all, like, share, subscribe. It helps me a ton. We'll spread the message. Let's blow this thing up. Also, check me out on Instagram, Gunnar_Hanson, GUNNAR_HANSON. Remember, results are the only thing that matters. Let's get them.